Welcome here to TalkFCB and welcome back to the channel here today, guys, where we do have a full Barca news roundup because there are a lot of big topics that we need to go over in today's video. We're going to be talking about the start of the pre-season tour of Asia. That is now finally underway. We're going to be discussing Marcus Rashford once again here today, along with Joan Garcia. Oh, and speaking of goalkeepers, there's another guy on the agenda, Marc-Andre Ter Stegen. What on earth is going on with him? It's all coming up. Get yourselves ready. And let's do this. Because indeed, guys, at long last, the Tour of Asia is now underway. And to be honest, I thought this day would never come. You know, Barca seemed to be boarding their plane, then getting off the plane, then going on the bus, then not going on the bus. Eventually, they got on the plane to Japan, and they are going to arrive there to actually play on Sunday. Everything now has been resolved, of course. There was a bit of a dispute that we believe was actually helped there by our former sponsor, Rakuten, who sort of stepped in and resolved Barca's problems there with receiving payment there for the pre-season game in Japan. So really good to get this all underway. It's important there financially and it's important for our preparation. And as you will see here from the squad list, 30 players now in total have actually made the trip to Asia for these pre-season games. Barca taking on a few more players than they anticipated in the end. And I think that's exciting. You know, there's so many young players in there who are going to get opportunities, who are going to get real chances there to continue to show Hansi what they've got. And if I had to really, single out one player, I think Roony Bardghji, in terms of the youngsters here, he's somebody who in pre-season training so far, the new signing, he's got to be under the radar. Marcus Rashford has come in, of course, big story, that is. Joan Garcia, of course, we're going to be talking about him. But Roony Bardghji, just a small transfer fee, not the biggest name in the world. He's coming under the radar, but he's really been impressing in these training sessions here. And I'm excited to see him on the pre-season tour, where he is going to be looking to just show Flick that he should be involved in the first team setup. So really exciting games to come, and I'm very excited now to get pre-season firmly underway. And I do have to bring you, actually, guys, a big report that has emerged in the media today regarding the team. What Flick really is demanding now of every single player, the kind of culture that we can expect inside of the dressing room, because apparently there have been a few changes now to some of the rules at the club. And I think this really follows on from some of the things that we saw in the summer, because apparently now the way that players conduct themselves away from the field, that is something that Flick is really honing in on. He has not actually been happy with maybe some of the parties. Those have now been banned during the season. And even commercial events and marketing campaigns there, he wants them to be carried out in a bit more of a secret way. He doesn't want everything to be blown up in the media, and I just don't think Flick here wants to give the media an excuse to really get those campaigns fired up and really start talking over and over again about what's happening on and off the field at Barca. So Flick right now is just continuing the work that he started last season. On the field, it's very important the way that you play, but it's how you prepare on the training ground away from that as well. He wants every single player to be aligned, to be disciplined, to be very professional and respectful to your teammates. And I would keep that in mind. There's a reason here why I'm discussing this here today, guys. Every player must be on board. You must respect everyone, including the club, and ultimately, yourself. But of course, guys, we cannot forget about the excitement that we've been having over the past few days in terms of our brand new signing, Marcus Rashford. And I've got to say, it was really nice to see him, first of all, in the training session there on Thursday morning. I think it looked like really good fun, in the team. I think everybody had a real smile on their face. It was really nice to be in and around that group. I think he's really feeling part of it already. You saw him there laughing and joking with Lamine Yamal. And Rashford appears to have settled in very quickly here at Barca. He spoke, of course, at his presentation about already feeling at home, about it being really easy to come into this dressing room and basically be able to be free to express yourself. And that's only going to help him, in my opinion, really do well there out on the field. And one thing that I want to mention on Marcus Rashford there, again, great to see him on the plane there with the team today, heading to that pre-season. And what we want to look out for in pre-season is that sharpness, early on. That's what it's all going to be about with Rashford, is just stepping up now, that match fitness, that match sharpness. We know that he's coming back from a bit of an injury at at the end of the season. He's still working his way towards being at his absolute best condition, so he will need a bit of time. We shouldn't expect too much too soon from him, but I am excited to see what he's got and just see what kind of angle he gives us here in pre-season. And one thing as well about him, I do think he actually brings experience. You don't really think of him as an older player, really, but when you look at his age, 27 years old, he's a highly experienced player in all different competitions there at club level and international level too. And actually this season, he could be, in my opinion, one of the older heads in the dressing room. We've got an incredibly young squad here at Barca. So many young players, of course, which is fantastic. But I think it is important to have a few experienced faces there. We saw it last season when Szczesny arrived. He really did help us there. He was a good player, a good personality to have around the group. And I think Rashford's going to bring that too. He's got a big smile on his face. He's got a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm. And that can only be a good thing. However though, guys, then we do move on to talk about Joan Garcia. Now, I've got to say, I'm incredibly excited to see him because honestly, I'm expecting big things, and the reason that I'm expecting big things is, number one, we all saw what he did last season. He is an absolutely outstanding goalkeeper there. In terms of shot stopping, he is going to delight us Barca fans. I just know it. But I also want to mention here that throughout pre-season, everybody within the club, they've been so happy with him. They are so energized, so enthused here by the performances that he's been putting in training. And some people have actually joked and said, have you seen Barca posting many training goal compilations throughout the summer? I personally haven't. Is that because we ultimately haven't seen as many goals because of the quality of goalkeeping? People inside of Barca say they haven't seen a goalkeeper with this level of reflexes, as sharp as this really, since Victor Valdez. So that is a very, very big compliment indeed. There's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of pressure on him too, of course. It's a big job to step into here as the Barca number one, but we are all behind you. We are all absolutely with you, and I cannot wait to see Joan Garcia between the sticks. Which indeed, guys, does bring us on to another goalkeeper and an entirely different personality and a different player really in this dressing room to anything that we've discussed in today's video. Because we all know Ter Stegen, his future at the club has been very much uncertain. We also know that he had been considering surgery now for several days, several weeks. It's been a possibility. Barca are waiting on his decision. Now, yesterday, he eventually told the club, okay, I'm going to do it. I am going to take on that decision. I'm going to go ahead with the back surgery. It's going to leave me sidelined for a significant amount of time, but that's what I want to do. Now, Barca responded to that from Ter Stegen by ultimately saying, look, okay, that's your prerogative. That's your decision to make. But the way that things are done, we will both issue here a joint statement. We will come out and explain to the fans. We will release a statement there on your behalf about this decision and about your recovery. That's the way that it's always done. Clubs make the statements. That is the way that it is done in all of these injury situations. But no. Ter Stegen, he's way too big for that. He's way too important for that. He went on to release his own statement before Barca could. He was rushing. He was actively rushing there to get his own word out there, to publicly reveal to the world his version of events, his version there of his recovery. And what's even more significant, this was clearly targeted. This is not just a coincidence here. This is not just something that happened randomly. He wanted to get it out because of what he had to say. And that's what I just can't believe here, because we can all see from this statement the one thing that Ter Stegen wanted to make so clear was that he believes, and again, he believes he is a player. He is not a medical expert. He wanted to tell us all, though, oh yeah, I'm going to be out for around 3 months. I'm going to say 3 months. Of all the timelines that I could choose, I'm going to say it's going to be 3. And that's what he was so desperate to put out there. That's what he was rushing to get out before Barca made their statement. Now, I have never ever seen, and I've been doing this for a long time, I've never seen a player speak first about his own recovery, to get his word out there, to speak about his own recovery time. Usually that's always left to the experts, to the professionals, to be announced by the club. And by the way, with Barca, especially recently, they don't usually confirm a timeline. For lengthy absences like this, they will give a rough idea, they will leave it quite open because they don't want to put pressure on the player, they don't want to rush the player. And what we're hearing right now is that the medical staff at Barca, and we've also heard medical professionals speaking in the media, they think this is definitely a 4 to 5 month absence. They see absolutely no way that Ter Stegen could return in 3 months. They don't see that as possible. So why did he say it? Why is he so desperate here to say 3 months? And you know why. You all know why. We all know why. It is no coincidence that in order for Barca to be able to use 80% of Ter Stegen's salary when he's sidelined, now that he's out for a long time, in order to use that money in terms of registrations, it's the minimum of 4 months. It has to be a 4-month absence. Anything under that, Barca don't get to use it. Barca are not able to do anything about Ter Stegen's salary. They're not able to register new players. None of it. So that is why Ter Stegen here, it's spiteful. It truly, truly is to come out and make it clear, oh, it's going to be 3. Now, Barca are fuming. Barca are absolutely livid. Because let me just say this. We all know that he has a contract at the club. We have all accepted all summer long. Okay, look, if you want to dig your heels in, if you want to stay, you can. There's nothing that we can do about that. Legally here, you'll still earn your money. You're going to get huge, huge wages for ultimately doing nothing. You're going to have surgery here. You're going to sit on the sidelines. Exactly the same happened last season. Barely played, of course. Earn massive, massive money in the process. But no, he wasn't content with that. He wasn't just content with taking money from the club, not leaving. He actively wants to bring us down with him. He wants to stop us from allocating that wage. He'd still get the money. Let's make that clear here. Even if Barca are able to use, by those La Liga rules, 80% of his wages to register other players, Ter Stegen is still paid. We're not taking anything away from him here. So all he's doing is actively trying to hurt the club for his own gain. He wants to hurt Barca. And let's not forget here, this is the Barca captain. This is a guy who should have the ultimate pride of being the captain and representing this club. And let's remember, by the way, previous captains of this club, I'm thinking about veteran players, I'm thinking about experienced Barca players, legends here, they left when they felt they couldn't contribute anymore. They actually took it upon themselves to say, okay, the club is bigger than me. That is not what Ter Stegen is doing. He is throwing every toy that he has out of the pram. And it's not just now. This started at the end of last season when he didn't like Szczesny playing ahead of him. He thought that he'd come back from his injury and play immediately. He thought he'd play Champions League games even when he hadn't played at all. I mean, who does he think he is? Genuinely, who does he think he is? He didn't even want to talk to the fans at the end of the season there. In the title celebrations, he couldn't even pick up a microphone as the captain. And there's just no defending this anymore. This is all because this summer we signed a new goalkeeper. We went out, we bought Joan Garcia. And again, this is a guy who clearly can't handle competition. And that's an alarm bell. That's a red light there. You can't handle any competition. You don't feel willing here to compete with players who are ahead of you. And can we also just make it clear as well? Barca had every right this summer to go and sign a goalkeeper. They did not need Ter Stegen's permission to go and sign a new player. They are within their rights to do that. And that is why right now it's because of this behaviour. It's because of this, quite honestly, shocking attitude that we're seeing from a Barcelona captain. Everybody within the club right now wants that off him. They do not want Ter Stegen to be the captain of this club any longer, and that's not just the board, that's not just the sporting area, Hansi Flick and everybody, they think it's the right choice to strip Ter Stegen of the captain's armband, and he should be. He should not be the captain of this club. And can I actually go further on this, guys? If we are forced to keep Ter Stegen, paying him big money, if we can't register other players whilst he's out, and we've got month upon month upon month here of struggling because of his own actions, please, in January, don't just give him away on loan. Don't just let him leave there for the all-important minutes that he wants ahead of the World Cup. Don't let him leave in January when it suits him. He's either sold in January, as in he's gone, he is not our problem anymore, and we never see the guy again. Or if you can't sell him, keep the guy. Put him in the stands. Do not give him a single minute this season, and watch whilst he misses the World Cup. You do not get to dictate to a club like Barca what you're going to do. You don't get to decide here, oh, I'm going to make it really difficult for them and expect nothing back. If you want to play this game, if you don't want to leave, if you want to see out this contract, if you want all these kinds of things, don't think that we're going to help you with a loan in a January window. It ain't going to happen. You're either gone, we either sell you, and you have to accept wages elsewhere, or you will miss the World Cup. You will not see that tournament. Let's promise you that. Because he's gone too far this time. This is a step too far, and it is completely unprofessional and disrespectful to all of his teammates. So that's that. Those are my opinions on the Ter Stegen situation right now. And guys, I am interested to know, what do you think? What are your thoughts right now? Because honestly, when I first saw that statement from Ter Stegen, the way that he rushed it out, the way that he beat the club to tell everybody there that it's going to be 3 months, well, let's be honest, he has no idea about that recovery time. It will be down to the medical team, and that's what I want to stay here. La Liga, hopefully, they will decide based on the medical reports. They will decide based on the expert's opinion, and not just what Ter Stegen is deciding to tell people, guys. But please do let me know all of your thoughts in the comments down below. It's been a pretty eventful past few days at Barca, and I will see you soon for plenty more news coming your way. Thank you indeed, though, for watching. But until next time, as always, Vejka, El Barça.